Nobody expected Hector to stab himself without hesitation. Moreover, he didn't hold back. Each stab had pierced deep into his flesh and bones. "Dad," Natasha's expression shifted as she rushed forward. However, Hector raised a hand to stop her. Even though he was bleeding profusely from his abdomen, his body remained upright. "Uncle Hector, I truly respect your courage, but these 3 stabs won't clear." Natasha of her crime, Dylan narrowed his eyes. "I understand." Hector nodded. He then stated calmly, "That is why I have decided that from this moment on, I will step down. As the family head and hand over all of my assets, I will be bearing all of the consequences." "What? You're stepping down as the family head?" Hector's words caused the crowd to panic. Since he became the family head, Hector worked diligently and tirelessly to manage the family. He had kept everything in order, while no one in the entire family dared to challenge his authority. They found it hard to accept that he was stepping down. "Dad, all of this happened because of me. I should be the one being punished, if ever. There's no need for you to bear the blame." Natasha started to panic. If Hector stepped down from his position and handed over all his assets, decades of her father's hard work would be ruined. After that, they would be left with nothing and no chance to turn the situation around. "Shut it. It's not your place to speak." Hector turned back and roared. Power, status, and money were nothing to him compared to his daughter. "Hector, are you sure about this?" Trent's eyes shone with delight before he regained his composure. "Hector, resigning from the role of the family head is no small matter. You should think properly." Jacob stroked his chin, deep in thought. "Since a mistake was made, I must accept the consequences. I've made up my mind." "There's no need to persuade me," Hector responded calmly. "Your sudden resignation would leave us without a leader. This puts us in a difficult situation." Trent looked troubled. "Trent, you are both courageous and resourceful and the eldest amongst us. You are more than qualified to take on the role," Hector said. "That doesn't seem appropriate." "I'm afraid it will take time to gain everyone's trust." Trent faked reluctance. "Trent, your contributions to the family are no less than Hector's. I believe you are very suited for the role." Jacob showed his support. "That's right. Uncle Trent has wisdom and courage. His hard work and achievements are remarkable. He can be the family head," Dylan echoed. "Dad, it will be hard at first, but since everyone is nominating you, why don't you accept it?" Kate said with a smile. They had struggled this long all for this moment. Thankfully, their determination and efforts didn't go to waste. Her father had finally risen to power. "All right, since everyone is insistent, I'll try it for a few days. If a more suitable candidate shows up, I'll step down and let them take over," Trent humbly said with a smile. "With Trent leading the family from now on, I believe the Hammonds will reach even greater heights." Jacob took the opportunity to flatter Trent. "Congratulations, Uncle Trent. Congratulations on becoming the family head of us, Hammonds." Dylan shook his hand. "Congratulations, Mr. Trent." The crowd exchanged glances and was quick to catch on. They congratulated Trent loudly together. Trent burst into laughter. "Ha ha ha. All right. From now on, I will do my best for the family. I will not disappoint you. Trent, congratulations on getting what you wished for. With the injuries I have, may I be excused?" Hector bowed slightly. "Go ahead. Take good care of yourself." Trent smiled and nodded. Since he was just appointed the family head, he was in a good mood. "Hold on." Kate suddenly called out as the father and daughter were about to leave. "Uncle Hector, even though you've taken the blame, it was ultimately Natasha's mistake. If we don't punish her properly, there might be others who would do the same in the future." "What?" Natasha's expression turned icy. "We've already surrendered all our assets. What more do you want?" "By returning the goods that had been stolen, does that mean the theft never happened? Don't you think that would be letting you off too easy?" Kate crossed her arms. "Exactly. Well, we spared you from the death penalty. You must be taught a lesson to prevent you from doing it again. Dylan stated firmly. Don't push it too far. You know very well whether I stole from the family treasury. Natasha raised her eyebrows in anger. She had always been sharp-minded. After what happened earlier, she was sure this had been a setup. She was the bait, and her father was the prey. All accusations and schemes were planned to have Trent as the family head. The evidence is clear. Are you still going to try to argue your way out of this? Kate sneered. Uncle Trent, you're the family head now. It's up to you to decide how to handle this, Dylan said. Considering that this is Natasha's first offense, and she has shown timely remorse, we can spare her from physical punishment. However, Trent suddenly added, but the family has suffered significant losses, and you must make amends. Here's the deal. If you hand over the formula to Immortanul, I'll forget today ever happened. The formula to Immortanul. Natasha furrowed her brows and refused immediately. Never. She hadn't committed any crime. They had only given in to alleviate the situation. She couldn't believe they were pushing their luck and targeting the formula to Immortanul. Their greed knew no limits. They knew that the formula was an invaluable treasure. Even if Natasha gave up all her assets, she could still make a fresh start as long as she possessed the formula. Natasha Hammond, Uncle Trent is giving you a chance. Don't be ingrateful. Dylan shouted. HMPH, you'll face our house law if you don't hand over the formula. Let's see how you fare then. Kate looked at her maliciously. Immortanul had become a sought-after product in the high-end medical aesthetics market. It was known as a medicine that was hard to obtain. Besides, its annual profit per year was at least several hundred billion. Who wouldn't want it? I won't give it up even if you kill me, not to mention enforcing the house law. Natasha was fearless. Very well. You brought this upon yourself. Kate's gaze turned icy. Take her away. Give her 80 strokes of the cane. Yes, ma'am. Several guards stepped forward immediately, ready to grab Natasha. Since Hector's power and authority were diminishing, Natasha naturally lost her influence too. Who dares? Just as the guards were about to take action, a shadow barged in, kicking several guards aside. The newcomer was none other than Dustin. Following closely behind was a breathless Ruth. Why are you here? Natasha lit up when she saw Dustin. Her anxiety finally eased. It was like she had found a source of support. Ruth said you were in trouble, so I came to check on you. How are you? Are you hurt? Dustin was concerned. I'm fine, but my dad got 3 stabs. Natasha replied truthfully. Mr. Hammond. Dustin turned to Hector. When he noticed him bleeding from his abdomen, he frowned. Who did this? He bellowed. No one. I did it to myself. Hector shook his head. What? Dustin was taken aback. What went on that led to him stabbing himself? This is what happened. Natasha didn't hide anything and briefly recounted the events. After hearing her explanation, Dustin's gaze hardened. They accused his woman, forced Hector to step down, and were about to enforce the house law. These people deserved a beating. Reese, what happened today has nothing to do with you. I'm warning you not to get involved, or you'll face the consequences. Kate shouted. Anything that happens to Natasha has everything to do with me. If you dare touch her, you should be ready to suffer. Dustin stood firmly in front of Natasha, his tone authoritative. You son of bitch. Show some respect. Take a look around and see who's in charge now. Kate threatened. She had held back when Hector was still in charge. But now that her father had become the family head, her authority had also risen. I couldn't care less about the Hammonds. Just know that Natasha is my woman. I'm taking her away safely today. Stop me if you dare. As Dustin stepped forward, an overwhelming aura came from him. He emitted an aura of dominance. Natasha felt butterflies in her stomach as she basked in Dustin's domineering presence. His glare was sharp. They were intense and fiery. She felt pleased to be protected by the man she loved.